The U.S. Supreme Court ruled President Trump's emergency tariffs are illegal.
President Trump described their decision as a disgrace to our nation, but not every industry agrees. As Wave News reporter Fernando Garcia-Francischini is explaining, some leaders in the bourbon industry say the ruling provides them with some certainty that the industry is desperately needing right now. Fernando.
Yeah, Brian, the Supreme Court says President Trump exceeded his authority when imposing the tariffs using a law reserved for a national emergency. I spoke with the president and CEO of the Distilled Spirits Council. He says there's a lot of moving pieces to this ruling, but he says it's a great first step. So according to the council, exports of almost all U.S. distilled spirits declined significantly last year after the tariffs were announced. That does include bourbon. For example, in the second quarter of 2025, exports to Canada were down 85%. The council's president says that decline in exports is due to the current volatile trading environment caused by the Trump administration's tariffs.
I think the lack of predictability for any business is always a challenge, and our industry has been living with that for the past year.
But he says he is hopeful the Supreme Court's ruling will correct that and offer predictability.
The Kentucky bourbon industry has thrived as a result of operating in a predictable trading environment with zero-for-zero tariffs. So that means no tariffs are implied on Kentucky bourbon that is being exported around the world.
Swanger says in return, the bourbon industry subscribes to no tariffs on imports. We also got a statement from the president of the Kentucky Distillers Association. He says the bourbon industry is better positioned to thrive when there is stability in the marketplace, free from uncertainty over tariffs. Fernando Garcia-Francischini, Wave News.